Hello. So I almost spilled my coffee everywhere. I wanted to come outside and do a coffee chat because one, it's been a while since I did one, and two, it's so beautiful and green. We need to cut our grass. I have little tiny wildflowers, dandelions and stuff all over the place here. And I'm going to check the camera and make sure that I'm in focus. Hello. So I think I might have figured out what I was doing wrong. For some reason, video snapshot came up. And yeah, so I'm going to be out here for just a minute because I want to add a little bit of footage to this coffee chat. It's such a beautiful day. And the trees out here are gorgeous. And during the fall, the tree up in front of the window where I work in my creative room is always full of fall colors. Well, right now with spring coming, I want to get how it looks. That's the tree that I see when I look out the window. There's beautiful. So these trees are absolutely gorgeous, and if I could set up the tripod in my bench so that I could film with this in the background, it would be amazing. I'm going to have to do that. I'm just going to have to do that. So I'm back out here. And like I said, I wanted to film it out here, but now there are all these really dark clouds in the sky. So it's probably better if I don't, because I'm pretty sure it's going to rain. So let's see if we can get the dark clouds. See all those dark clouds? Alright, I'm going to go back in so I can edit video footage and add this in there. Thanks, y'all. Bye. Sorry for the glare, but it's coffee time, y'all. My chair is squeaky. I need to spray WD-40 on it. How are y'all? Welcome to #2 newsletter. I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. Springtime, y'all. It is springtime. I just finished a collab with Bree from Documented Journey, and I'm looking forward to doing more collabs. I am going to be writing with Tamara Woods from Pen Paper Pad this coming week, and I am going to follow up with my new to me are some of my favorites that I didn't get to the last time I did the YouTube video, the YouTuber video. And y'all, I'm super excited about some of the changes I've been making. They've been slow and steady, some of these changes, to the improvements I've been making, to feeling more at peace with the things that I'm doing more things that bring me joy, that actively bring me joy, doing more things that resonate with me, and letting go of some of the things that haven't been resonating, that haven't been bringing me joy. When I was talking with Bree, and we were talking when the collab idea came about, we were also talking about, I was feeling a little bit of burnout with coffee chats. Not the actual coffee chats themselves, but coming up with ideas for the coffee chats. I do a lot of coffee chats. I do 2 coffee chats a week, one for YouTube and one for Patreon. And then now I'm doing at least 1 coffee chat for the newsletter every month. So that's a lot of coffee chats, and that's a lot of ideas behind the coffee chats. When it comes to certain topics, I actually do research. And Bree actually asked a question on a live chat with Chic Sparrow. Tina Cody from Overall Adventures was asked the question by Bree. Bree said she thought it would be a good topic for me to talk about in a coffee chat. So the question, I should say, how do you find the middle ground between living your life and documenting all the things? Living in your journal versus living in the moment. So, that's a bit of a heavy topic, because some people, like myself included, have had times where we are living more in our journals than we are in the moment in real life. I found a quote that really sums up the whole idea behind this. It's by a man named Thomas Monson. There is no tomorrow to remember if we don't do something today. There is no tomorrow to remember if we don't do something today. We don't have anything to document if we're not doing things. I document all kinds of things. Every year around this time, for whatever reason, we end up with ants. Not the little sugar ants. If they were the little sugar ant, it would be one thing. But no, these are ants. The ants that sting, bite you, that hurt, yes, that leave those little blister things. And they have taken over my kitchen. They come in through the back door the last couple years, and I have documented them in journals, in a bullet journal, in the Hobonichi, in my regular journal. And Mr. Rockstar laughed because the last 2 years in a row, I was running around the kitchen trying to find things, clean things, get rid of ants, and I'm singing that ant, that ant, that ant, that ant, that ant, that ant, that ant. I tend to make light of things when they are very frustrating, or when they really irritate me, or when I need a break from my anxiety or my frustration or agitation. I tend to make light of them. I have the school of thought that I can either laugh with myself or at myself, or I can get irritated, or I can get self-conscious or whatever about it. I have a patch back there on that book because I injured my eye the other day. I scratched it. I got scared, I guess. There was a big loud noise, a car door slammed and a big loud noise. I was about to put mascara on this eye right here, and ended up poking my eye with the mascara wand. Really bad. It's still itchy and irritated. So I had to go to emergent care, urgent care, fast ER kind of place, and they put drops in my eyes, and he gave me the thing for drops, and see, right now it's starting to irritate me. It's giving me a headache on and off. And the eye is very sensitive, but I had a patch, and I took the patch off to go shopping in Walmart. And then I came back out, put the patch back on, went to the gas station, and the gas attendant said, "You were just in here the other day and you didn't have that. Are you going to a costume party?" And I told him no, that I'd scratched my eye. He said, "Oh, I hope it gets better soon." I documented some of that in my journal. And the funny thing, and I'm creating a video of this, and I'm going to do a flip through to talk about some of this stuff right here, because I've had some other questions about documenting your day, a memory keeping kind of thing, and I'm going to show a few examples in the video of other stuff that I've done along with this journal, because it's different depending on what you're documenting. Part of documenting your day means that you're documenting the things that happen in your day. If you're memory keeping, it's the same thing. You're documenting those things, your moments of joy. And in order to have a moment of joy, or something that was funny, or something that made you think, or something that your kids did, or something that your grandchild did, or your spouse, or your family, or an event you went to, you have to participate in life. You have to have things that you've done in order to document those things. If you're talking about things, well, my life is kind of the same thing all the time. I create stuff, I write, or I journal, or I create art, I paint, draw, take pictures, clean the house, organize, read books, watch TV, blog, film, edit. You know, I'm doing a lot of the same thing all the time. My days do get broken up into other things, though, when I do things like spend time with Mr. Victor, go to the grocery store, spend time with Mr. Rockstar, visit my family, spend time with other people, go somewhere and do something. When something happens and I end up having to go to the doctor to get my eye checked out and end up wearing a patch. When I am searching high and low for my 1/3 of a cup measuring cup because I can't find it, and I just used it 2 days before, but now it's lost and I can't find it. And I'm about to make blueberry streusel muffins, but I need the 1/3 of a measuring cup and I cannot find it. And Mr. Rockstar hears me and he comes in there. He's like, "What's going on, baby?" And I tell him. So he proceeds to check the entire kitchen and anywhere else, because as my ADHD brain tends to do, I will have something in my hand think about something and go somewhere else in the house to get something or do something, sit down what I had in my hand to pick up something else and not remember or think about the fact that I sat something down somewhere else than where it's supposed to be. And then I have to go look around the house to find out where exactly I put it. You know, I have to kind of do backtrack. So Mr. Rockstar's like, well, baby, what did you do? I still haven't found the 1/3 of a cup measuring cup. But when I went to Walmart after I went to the eye doctor on Friday, I happened to see measuring cup on clearance for $1.50 and I bought them. So I actually chronicled the measuring cup and the eye patch. And here's the little tag that came off of the measuring cups from Walmart. And I actually chronicled that. And the reason I chronicled it on Friday, the measuring cup thing, is because I bought the new ones on Friday. But the looking for them actually happened here. And yeah, I'd already done this page because I got some new drawing pens in and a new pencil sharpener because I cannot find my green Prismacolor pencil sharpener anywhere. So I have a 1/3 of a cup measuring cup missing and my Prismacolor green pencil sharpener missing. So I document my days. Now, I find it really interesting this topic because in order to participate in life, to be in the moment, we need to be there, see it, experience it, live it, breathe it, smell it, touch it, all those senses. We need to be mindful and in the moment. But in order to document stuff, you need to take pictures, gather bits and pieces of ephemera and different things. So there's a fine line between being invasive with a camera, having a camera all the time in somebody's face or in your own face, or taking pictures of things, events and things, because when you're looking at the thing or the person from behind the camera, you're thinking, is it in frame? Is it in focus? Is everything okay? You're not seeing what you're actually filming or taking pictures of. Your focus is elsewhere. Your focus is on how that video is looking, is the sound working, and I'll tell you why, because I actually started this conversation outside with my fancy camera, and it didn't film. Don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some doohickey stuff with it, but you have to be there in the moment. According to some studies, people are on their phones not to communicate, not to talk. I don't even know about the texting, but not to communicate. They're actually on there on social media approximately 5 hours a day. That's a lot of social media. That's a lot of phone time. Phone time. Time where you are not participating in life. So your journal, your phone, your planner, your books, your writing, anything really could be, this question could be, the answer could be relevant for any of those things. I don't have any outright answers. I have some suggestions. And when I went through everything I went through back in October, I became more mindful. I'm still working on it. I feel like I'm always a work in progress with things. But I've noticed some of the things that have helped me with some things is to remember what my why is, my purpose with various things. To remember time and space. For that, I'll say there's a time and a place and a space for everything. So if you're sitting at the dinner table with your family or a loved one or a friend or having coffee with a friend, and you are in the middle of a conversation and your phone buzzes or rings or vibrates or whatever, and you interrupt that conversation, especially if the other person is talking, to be on your phone unless it's an emergency, that's rude. Just as if I were out with a friend and having coffee, or out with Mr. Rockstar or my daughter or somebody, and I said, hey, if I say in the middle of the conversation when we're talking, when it's appropriate, and I say, I would really like to document this. Do you mind if before we leave, we take a picture together? Or I take a picture of you? Or, you know, that is respectful. But if I, in the middle of a conversation, just take a picture of you while you're in the middle of talking, that could be a bit rude. And I'm guilty of that. I used to be called paparazzi by Mr. Rockstar. He still calls me that because I have cameras. I'm always. But he called me out on it. And he wasn't mean about it. You know, he's like, baby. And he'll call me out on when I'm spending too much time back here, when I'm in the living room and we're doing something together. Not so much with TV shows, but if we're watching a movie together and I have my journal out or my planner out or something and I'm doing stuff, I'm not really focusing on the movies. Like, are you watching the movie with me, or are you, you know? So I tend to remember the time, the space, the place that I'm in. And is this an appropriate time to have the journal out, to have the planner out, to have the phone out? One of the other things is to share your real time with others. So if you're sharing your real time, this goes back to the other thing. If you're sharing your real time, your FaceTime with others, does that FaceTime include your journal, a camera, your phone, or is it real FaceTime? Another thing that I think is that if you take some time away,
maybe we need a little space. We need a little time out.
so I put my journal to the side, put my planner to the side, put whatever it is to the side, the camera, and I take a little break. During that time out, I am free to enjoy real life moments, to enjoy things, and there's a con to that, just like there's a pro to other things. There's always pros and cons to things. If in the real life moments that I'm spending away from the camera or the phone, if your phone works as your camera too, and there's this beautiful sunset or this wonderful moment with Victor, and I've missed that Kodak moment because I didn't have the camera or the phone to take a picture of, um, it's okay. There's another way to chronicle that. Well, I guess some people could chronicle it with Photoshop, but other people could chronicle it by drawing, or by finding a piece of clip art, or by finding a picture in a magazine, or by using an old picture and then collaging extra bits with that picture. There's always a way to document it if you do happen to miss capturing that moment. But if you are so busy trying to capture all the moments via your journal or a camera or anything, then you're not living in the moment. And there, you have to find that kind of balance between the two. And I'm working on that. I don't have as much of a problem putting my journal down and not living in my journal. I have multiple journals, as I do having a real balance between work life and home life, because I'm always working, doing something. I'm in here a lot, and I have to be mindful of the time that I spend in here. I have to be especially mindful of being in the moment. So when Mr. Rockstar is off, spending real quality time with him. When I have Victor on Wednesdays, spending real quality time with him. If you've noticed, I posted a lot less pictures of Victor lately, and I've been drawing things of Victor because I want to be in that moment. I don't want to miss the things with him when I'm sitting down and we're reading or we're coloring or we're cutting out pictures or we're doing things. We've created several things lately, and I've chronicled it in my journal and done like things to chronicle it in my journal, but instead of constantly taking pictures, sometimes I go on my daughter's Facebook or somebody else's that has pictures of Victor, and I will use some of those pictures. I need to take a few more pictures of him. I love taking pictures of him, but I don't always want to be taking the pictures of him and not enjoying the actual moment with him. Being a grandmother has really changed how I see things, even as a parent, especially as a parent. It's changed. A lot of the things that I didn't do so well with my kids, I know that I'm much more mindful of doing better with Victor. There's no perfect person, there's no perfect answer, there's no perfect uh, thing. And when I quit striving for perfection and I started just being authentic and not worrying so much about the perfection, I found that I'm in a lot more peaceful place with a lot of things. I've become much more mindful and appreciative and grateful. And having that active, I'm seeking joy, active, I'm being grateful, actively and purposefully being in the now, being present and mindful of my time and my energy of doing things that are joyful, are happy, are resonating, and things like that, the more I've realized how much before I was doing things to just be doing them. I was doing things to be busy. I was doing things because other people did them. I was I was living in my work, but not in the way that I have problems now balancing. I was trying so hard, too hard, to be what I thought people wanted, that I wasn't doing what really brings me joy, which is what people really want. They want to be inspired and motivated, and they can tell the difference. It happened in spurts, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because it was a learning experience. And I think that the more we expose ourselves to the learning experiences in life, the purposeful moments, the mindful moments, the gratitude, and the inspiration and motivation, the more in the now we are, the less likely we are to not to have the balance. And I think sometimes it's not so much about balance as it is about harmony in things. Because sometimes life sways one way or the other way. You know, sometimes things are. When my dad died and my mom was in the hospital, my relationship with Mr. Rockstar was not 50-50 or 100-100, depending on how you look at that. I look at it as 100-100. It was not 100-100, or we'll say 50-50. During that period, Mr. Rockstar was probably 80%, and I was probably 20% in our relationship. Now, in life and in life and in family, I was all in. I was all in. My mom, I was focusing on my mom. I was focusing on getting things done, on doing the things that I knew I needed to do, that my dad asked me to do, that I knew I needed to do for my mom. I was 100% all in. I was not, however, 100% all in for my self-care, nor was I 100% all in for my relationship with Mr. Rockstar, because I couldn't be. I was doing what needed to be done, what I needed to do at that particular moment. So our relationship was it was not in balance at that particular moment, how much we were giving. That's understandable, and things like that in life happen. So you can't always have like the perfect balance. Sometimes the scales do, and you have to find a way to rein things in, to work with how things have to be at a particular moment. So if things are off kilter, is it off kilter for a good reason? And are you mindful of the things that you need to do to get it back into being balanced, in harmony? Because most of the time our relationship is pretty equal, with but there are times when he gives more and when I give more, because I need to give more because he needs it, or he needs to give more because I need it. And so I think with real life, versus documenting our life, what Mr. Monson said, we can't document our life if we don't have a life to document, if we're not doing things now to document tomorrow. I am very guilty of not getting out and doing things more. As an ambivert, I like to socialize, but in small doses. I like to get out and do things out in nature. I have to get out in nature every day. I like to go to the coffee shop and write or read or draw. I like to urban sketch, and I like to plein air sketch, and I like to get out and do those things, but I don't like to be around big crowds of people. I'd say I'm more of a plein air sketcher than an urban sketcher because I like nature. I like getting out in nature a lot more. I love to do landscapes and stuff like that. I like nature. Nature makes me feel better. It gives me the feel goods. Every time I go outdoors, it gives me the feel goods. Which is why I really wanted to do this coffee chat outside. But it's okay. One of my favorite things to do is to get outside and take a walk, and things like that. Now that the weather's really nice out, and I mean it's really nice out, we so need to cut our grass, I'll be able to do more of that, and I'll have more balance in my life, balance in my journals. And I get tired of drawing coffee caps and notebooks and little computer screens and stuff like that every day. But that's pretty much my life. Notebooks, filming, editing, cooking, cleaning, coffee, reading, writing. That's my life. Art. So I have to mix it up, break it up some. And one of the bad things about winter, and fortunately we don't really get a lot of snow, so it's not about that. It's just about arthritis and tendonitis and feeling achy and not really wanting to physically, not being able to all the time go and do like I'd like to. But when the weather warms up, I can do that. Then my allergies kick in, but that I can deal with the allergies. Um, but part of it's also about my anxiety and getting out and doing some of that in public. So it's time for me and Mr. Rockstar to go and do another artist date together so that he can film, or for me to try and do it on my own, getting out of my comfort zone and doing it on my own. I keep saying I wanted to do it, keep saying I'm going to do it, but I haven't really done it. I did get out and do an artist date, but I didn't film or take pictures or whatever. I enjoyed it just for me, and I think I needed that at the time. And that was internal balance, being in my real life, doing something I really wanted to do, doing something I needed to do for myself, self-care, and living in the moment, in the now. That will prepare me for the next time I go out and I'm actually going to be filming and doing it for work, for y'all, for my creative life. So I think that, yeah, I think that's the kind of the key, is to finding maybe some balance, but more or less, I think finding the harmony and what really works for you. Because um, if you're actively being mindful of the things that you enjoy and the things that you love and living in the now and being present, you'll have a lot more to document. Maybe you won't have as many pictures, but you'll have a lot more to draw or to collage or whatever. Um, and you could still have some pictures, but maybe you won't have quite as many, but you'll have a lot more to document. And that's what I've been trying to do, have more things to document that aren't regular things, because the regular things I do all the time, or taking the regular things and making them not so regular. Maybe that, yeah. I think that's it. I'm going to have a sort of time-lapse video to go with, and then there'll be a blog post. Thanks for watching, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye.